it's a shot. Welcome to Spiked College Football Show, episode number 2, season 2. Week 0's over. Week 1's going. What a great intro. Rob, that fucking intro is flawless. The best intro in the business from a bunch of fucking idiots who don't know what they're doing. We love it. Everybody looks good. What's going on, guys? Week 0. We got real football. Guys, there's football until Christmas. And then after, let's go.
Best time of year.
I know.
Best time of year.
Sorry for me. Very rude host. As usual, we have Rob and JC. JC looks ripped as shit, and Rob looks, whatever. But we now have the one and only from the Iron Ostrich Network, who is now part of our network, who is representing us. We have the best producer in all of the producing game, even though his team is horrendous. It's Mr. Tyler Allen, everybody.
That's me. Thank you. Nobody never really gave you a formal welcome to the network.
The best intro in the business. Right. Rob, are you clipping that? Rob's clipping.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm leaving it alone.
Hey, guys, big shtick. Guess what? I told you guys to do homework because I'm a homework guy. I'm a numbers guy. Guess who went 5-1 last week on their picks? I did. Not a big deal. Fuck. What did I lose? I lost on Nebraska. Go figure. But I hit the under. Look at the homework is done again. You want to know why? Because the money is in the homework right here. Homework is done. 5-1 with me, boys. 5-1.
A page.
Yep.
Of homework.
JC and I did our homework too. You can see it right there. See, it's awesome. It's so good.
That's not funny. I don't even think that's funny.
It's like high school all over again.
I feel like a rebel in class that spent 10 minutes before class doing their homework and actually not doing it.
That's
Pretty
what me and JC would do. We would literally copy from the girls sitting in front of our lockers because they would give us their homework like 5 minutes before class.
And you hope they're smart.
Yeah, well, at least they did the work. So what's up, guys? Week 0. Let's dive in. Let's dive in head first in the shallow end. We have to talk about it. I did take the under. I hit the under because I win bets. It's what I do. I win money. Units only go up. Everybody knows it. I did get killed on this one. Scott Frost is a bad coach.
No.
And Adrian Martinez is a worse quarterback.
We're gonna start. We're gonna start with this one.
As usual, he gives us an agenda and we flip it. So, Tyler, you are our guest. You are also the Nebraska fan. We'll just let you handle this section, and we'll just kind of toss in random stuff. How are you feeling, bud?
I could have felt if you would have talked to me, in the first quarter. Fuck, I would have been borderline suicidal. After that kicker, that transfer from LSU botched 2 kicks, and I was just like, oh my god! And then I turned the game off. I went to just straight radio only because I didn't want to see the images. But I will agree with you there that Adrian Martinez isn't the answer.
I've never seen somebody like I was the greatest backyard quarterback of all time. I've never seen anybody overthrow wide open receivers high in my life. I mean, wide open receivers. Like I could have thrown it left-handed after going on a drinking bender with Rob down in fucking Tampa, just on an absolute bender, and hit him left-handed. How do you miss somebody that open that many times? He had 3.
He's really good at running, though. He's 75-yard. I mean, I saw that. He's a track star.
They need to go back to the option offense if that's what we're gonna do.
That's like the fucking only pro in a list of 75 cons.
That is very true.
Like, he is the definition of an overthinking quarterback. Because if you go back to the days of when Scott Frost was at UCF and Mackenzie Milton was at the helm of his offense, Mackenzie Milton was just an instinctual fuck who could actually just execute. Didn't really put any much thought into it and always executed and delivered. Adrian Martinez overthinks and overdoes and overextenuates himself towards the end of the games, quite frankly.
But, I'm not going to – but the defense did play well. Maybe it's not on Scott Frost, but maybe it is all the quarterback because, honestly, going into that game – but, I mean, you should be able to beat – Brett Bielema balled the hell out of them. The first drive of the second half where he took 8 minutes off the clock by running, he literally ran sweep left, screen pass left because the left side of the line was dominant, stretch left, screen left, pass down the sideline off of a play action right at the 1 yard line, and then they ran the ball in.
Yep. don't get me wrong. Brett Bielema's back, fellas.
With the talent that Wisconsin, not even close to Wisconsin talent, he was able to just run the ball down their throats.
Confirmed. Brett Bielema knows football. That's a definite ghostwriter.
He might not have been suitable for the SEC, but that man can win the Big Ten.
Yes, sir. But I mean, that's just, and even when the kicker missed the field goal or the extra point to definitely make the under happen, I was just like, oh my God.
You know what? But it might also be bad coaching too, TA, because that safety, you don't catch a ball running backwards. You put your heels on the 9-yard line as a punt returner. If the ball goes past you, you let it go. No, he gets a safety there. They miss the extra point. And then he fumbles the ball. That's 9 points, 10 points right there. They lost by 8. So 7. So they could have won the game without those mistakes right there. Even though they played so terribly, they still could have won.
I'm more eternally grateful that it happened early on and they played up to try and catch back up rather than it being like late in the third or fourth quarter and that shit happening. I like it a little better.
JC, as a punt returner, have you ever you've returned kicks before? Why would you ever? I'm sure you saw the play. Why would you ever drift all the way back to your half-yard line to catch a punt?
So that is where the conversation usually turns to discipline. And where does discipline come from in a program?
That's all coaching.
So I know I light up the conversation when it comes to Coach Frost because I'll admit I'm a little twisted about his leaving UCF. The guy came in and I thought did a really good job changing the program, getting it going in a good direction. And then he up and left for a shiny prospect. And sometimes you just need to know a good thing when you got it. And I think he, of all people, should have stayed in UCF, and he could have had an amazing career. He had plenty of talent. The guys were winning, and now he's
good for going home. Come on now.
No, listen, I can't blame a guy for taking the shiny object. It's his home. It was a great opportunity for him, but he's not in a good spot right now because the challenge with going back to a place like that is you have to perform. You have to. The pressure's there because now they're in this limbo. What do we do with them? You know,
$1 million. I'm sorry, no offense to anybody that lives in the Midwest and everything. That's great. But unless you're Ohio State, where are you going to get the speedsters from Miami and California? They don't want to play in Lincoln, Nebraska. They don't. You can go to the coasts, or you can go to the South or Ohio State. That's where you go for your speed and your quarterback. Like you don't go. I don't know. I don't see how they have a draw to go to the middle of the country.
Well,
Texas can't even recruit those guys anymore.
Well, so TA, you're out there. Like you're in Nebraska now.
The pressure's always been there. Like ever since fucking Frank Solich left to go to Ohio, fucking from Bill Callahan to Bo Pelini, the pressure's always been there. We've just never been grateful fucks for 9-win seasons. And so so when the standard's super freaking low, it's all like, we got to make a change now. Well, I don't think Trev Alberts, the new AD at Nebraska, makes the change here. And because he's in year 4 of his deal out of 7, I think he fulfills the deal.
I mean, who do you get? Who's going to want to go? Who's going to go? Billy Napier's not going. He turned down a plethora of jobs to stay in Louisiana. I mean, who's going to go? Who's a hot name that could go? I don't know any hot name that would go there.
Well, here's another question.
With Trev Alberts being an ex-Husker, he gets that it does take time to put a program together. But also, he's the one that can also say, fuck you, and fire him at the same time.
Well, here's a question. Since we talked kind of around it already, and I read a really good article about this. There's another guy who went to his alma mater and quite honestly hasn't been that great in the same conference, is is Scott Frost just a poor man's Jim Harbaugh? Like, where is he right now, and what's going to happen with that?
Rob, they can't even. They're not. If you look at their schedule, if they win 5-6 games this year, it's a miracle. That's not like a hyperbole. Like, that's actually a miracle now if they win 5 or 6 games. Michigan is the same thing where if they win 8 games, it's a bad year. If Nebraska won 8 games this year, they give them the national championship because there's no chance in hell that that's ever happening. So I don't know.
Especially with the schedule, it's hard. It's like the hardest out of the Big Ten. It's like the Big Ten doesn't do us any favors. That's for fuck sure.
Oh, they didn't last year. That's for damn sure.
No, and they didn't again this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't need to dwell on it. I know, Tyler, you're our guest, so we're not here to just like pile on.
Yeah, but let's talk about that. We'll talk about the other games real quick on this game. Brett Bielema he took a reject from Rutgers. Okay, Sitkowski, the backup quarterback. He went like 12 of 15 with a tutty and like 140 yards. He was a reject from Rutgers and had him go and win a game in the Big Ten. I'm just saying, and the way they did that was all play calling. If you watch that game, it was play calling, play calling, play calling, play calling. That's it. Play calling won that game. It was a phenomenal performance by the left side, which people don't get. Illinois has 5 guys that played last year, 4 returning starters on the offensive line. Their left tackle is probably going to be like a second or third team All Big Ten, and I'm not, like I said, I was talking to you guys before the season. I think they're going to beat their over, but I didn't think that they were going to come in this game. Like I said, Bielema has them going to be playing good football. Not great football, but with their talent, like Scott Frost isn't getting the absolute best out of his talent. Bielema already is getting, that's as good as Illinois can play. Like, and he got it the first game. So it's impressive.
Very.
ILLINI.
Now, moving on from that terrible game to, I went 1-1 in that game, not bad. I went 2-0 in this game. UCLA, guys. Remember how I said UCLA was going to be a sleeper team this year? And I know they only played Hawaii, but if you watched that game, not only did their offense run the most vanilla offense you could run, literally vanilla. There was I don't even think they ran a fucking rub route.
Nope.
It was vanilla, vanilla, vanilla. And they just put up fucking points. And their defensive line was in the backfield. Again, I know it's Hawaii, but Hawaii is not the worst team. They were in the defensive backfield all day long.
We'll get to the worst team. Don't worry. That also happened.
They were mugging. They were mugging Hawaii all game long. UCLA, I'm telling you right now, LSU's going down. I'm telling you, UCLA is a good team.
Well, we're going to get to that as well. Week 1, we're still talking about week 0. So let me go ahead and say that you were absolutely right about UConn, Johnny. It hurts to know that UConn would have been better off staying. I believe I told the kid take him up to like minus 35, and they won 45-0. Yep. And so I wish that UConn had stayed in a conference just to be the Vanderbilt for someone else, because it's bad to be an independent and lose that badly to Fresno State. You just got nothing to fall back on. You can't be what happened? We can make up in conference play.
I mean, this is on Randy Edsel. Okay. It was 120 degrees on the field, literally 120 degrees on the field. You know how many defensive linemen he had in total dressed? 8.
Not enough.
Oh, I thought it was 4.
He had 8 guys dressed as defensive line. In that kind of game, you need to be rotating 11 guys.
Easily.
At least.
I don't even know if they have more than 8 defensive linemen.
That's just unbelievable. And UConn is I think UMass might actually beat them this year.
I mean, at least I'll watch the game because I grew up in Connecticut. We got to have some state pride, but no, it's going to be rough this year.
But I went 1-0 in that game. So I mean, my bets were great this week. Also, I don't know if you got. I watched a little bit. It was a horrible game to watch. But San Jose State, Nick Starkel, the transfer from Texas A&M, from San Jose State. I know I said I liked USC. I did say it. I hold it. They're playing USC this week. Closer than the experts think. Closer. I'm saying it's a 7-10 point game. I really like how Stark will play. I know it was against Southern Utah, and like literally Rob can go play quarterback for them, but
I don't even have a dog, guys.
Starkle looked like the draft pick that he's going to be, and I think that it's a tie game at halftime, at least at USC.
So
it
that
was late. That game was late.
Right. So that only leaves one other game, and I'd leave it up to JC if he wants to take it, though, because this is a soft spot for him. So if you want to talk about your boys.
You talking UTEP?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got to tell you, I projected a win there, but I was not projecting that win. Good show. It was New Mexico State.
3 points. Oof.
But you know something? I'm high on those Miners. I like to see them do well, and that's a good start to the year. The win against New Mexico State, a rivalry game, is a great start to the season. Not everybody plays a rivalry game right out the gate, and that's a good way to start. What the fuck? Could you all hear that?
Yeah.
That was like a free advertisement. Cut that out.
No free ads. So with that, I mean, we've covered all of week 0. So Johnny, I think you wanted us to talk about surprises first and then guarantees for week 1.
Yeah, let's talk about now. What are you guys thinking? Now we're going on week 1. Now real football starts. Now the real teams are playing. No offense to who played. I get it. Blah, blah, blah. Now there's actual games on. Now right here, I have a list because, I do my homework. I have my list of my best games. I'm telling you right now, Louisiana is playing Texas this weekend. Okay? I did my homework. On offense, Louisiana has 9 of 11 starters coming back. 9 of 11. They have Lewis Levi Jr., who's going to be the second best quarterback in the Sun Belt. He is a lefty, but what are you going to do? But he's on the Davey O'Brien watch list. He's on all the fucking stupid watch lists that nobody really gives a fuck about in the beginning of the year. He had 19 TDs last year. He's a hell of a player. He's a hell of an athlete. Plus, they got Billy Napier. And you want to know who Texas has? Sarkisian, who's probably drinking right now as we talk. Huge alcoholic. Texas does not have Ellinger anymore because he was there for 15 years and he's finally gone. I love Louisiana in an upset here. And on the Barstool Sportsbook app, it's a plus 7.5 points for the Louisiana, but I'm taking the money line plus 260. Absolutely love Louisiana in this spot, guys. I don't know if you want to commentate about it, but these are my upset bets of the week. So I have 2 more, but I love Louisiana in this spot. If you guys have any thoughts.
So
I'm taking the points and the money line.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So Texas making a move or putting in for a move to a new conference, and then they're going to get smacked in the mouth on the first game.
Yep. They have not a great quarterback. They have a hell of a running back in Bijou. I know he's amazing. But
that would be the most Texas thing ever, though. Not like to bail on the Big 12 and then just absolutely implode. That's like the most Texas thing I think I've heard of. By the way, we do have our first comment of tonight. Thank you, Anna Marie.
Lefties are not awesome at quarterback.
First base, they're good.
They're at first base, and Anyway, you guys have any thoughts on the Louisiana Texas game at all before I go on to the next 2?
I would love to see that happen. I would love to see just Texas crash and burn because first of all, it's great to troll their fans because at least 10% of the fan base always says, we're back. We're going to the SEC. We're going to be back. Oh, right. And especially, I want to see Louisiana players throw the horns down and get flagged because they're not in the Big 12. Fuck it.
Yep.
What are they going to do? So, yeah, I would love to see that. So I'm all for that.
I'm right there with you, Rob. Fucking full blown 3-year tour of is Texas back or not? Yay or nay? And I'd like the first week walloping by Louisiana. And so
Hell
if they
yeah.
can start do some of them horns
And
down,
I'm not just saying this because I think
I'll pay them fines. Yeah.
I'm not just saying this because I think I hate Texas. They have Billy Napier. They lost one game last year to a unbelievable Coastal Carolina team. They have 9 of 11 starters returning on offense, 8 of 11 starters returning on defense. I really like them. And then next, my next money line pick on the Barstool Sportsbook app, I'm taking UCLA plus the 4.5 points. I'm also hitting the money line hard, hit it hard, plus 155. Dorian Thomas Robinson, and I love their fucking tight end and wide receivers are massive. They are massive. And you want to know what the worst part of LSU is? Except for Derek Stingley Jr., who is the best cornerback, he'll be a top 3 pick next year. He's amazing. You want to know what you do? Take him away. It's a funny story. Darrelle Revis took him away. My cousin got into a fight with Darrelle Revis last night at a bar in Fort Lauderdale. Don't worry about that. But we'll talk about that later. That's a true story. Punched him right in the face. But give me, if they keep the ball away from Stingley, I love Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and I love the running game, and I love Chip Kelly. I think they come out and they just smack them around. They have 5 returning offensive linemen on the offensive line back. They have the 12th best running game last year. LSU can't play defense. They had to fire their defensive coordinator. New defensive coordinator in. Their quarterback carousel because what's his name got hurt. Brennan got hurt again. So now they're going with Max Johnson. Give me LSU losing. Give me UCLA plus the 4.5 and plus the 165.
I mean, plus 165. Might as well get on that train. You called this last week, so I'm not surprised by it. I actually think you're going to pull it out again. That's all.
After seeing their first game, I'm inclined to agree. One of the benefits to having a week 0 game,
Plus
and for them, really a warm-up game. I mean, they got to fine-tune the engine, got everything nice and lubed up, ready to go.
Everything's better when it's lubed.
Right, indeed.
Everything is better when it's lubed.
And then my last upset specialty game, whatever you want to call it. Someone come up with the name of the segment. Commenters, let's go. Might be a little bit of a shocker. I like Maryland plus 3.5 points and plus the 128 over West Virginia. Reasons being, they have Tagliavoa, whatever the fuck his name is. They have 4 out of 5 offensive linemen coming back. Jalen Duncan. Remember the name Jalen Duncan? Probably a first-round left tackle pick. They have great wide receivers. As long as Tagliavoa doesn't turn the ball over, which West Virginia does have a pretty damn good defense, but they did lose their all-conference nose guard and their all-conference safety. The safety went to Georgia. The nose guard went to the NFL. Give me Maryland with the win here, and then give me the money line because I think when you're getting plus 128 and they're only giving 2.5 points, you got to go with the money line. I like Maryland over West Virginia, another upset spot.
So, appreciate all that, Johnny. Thank you for doing your homework. I just feel like this is a conversation that you should have with your younger self because I know you didn't do your homework as a kid.
Yes, I did.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So one more time. So does anybody else have any? These are all your surprises, right? These are all your.
Those are all my surprises.
Okay. So, Tyler, do you have one that you see coming up that will be a surprise? Doesn't necessarily have to be a money line pick, just in general, something that you feel like is.
I think a game to watch is Texas.
I'll be right back. My girlfriend bought me food. I'll be right back. Ahead.
Texas Tech and Houston. I think Daniel Holgerson's going to have Houston tuned up to maybe at least give them a run for their money late in the game. I still see Texas Tech pulling it out, but I think it's a game to at least seek out and watch before your evening programming.
I mean, we were talking about West Virginia before. We'll see if West Virginia really misses Dana. when he goes off and does good things. I'd love to see that happen.
I mean, Texas Tech is a top 25 team, and I think Houston can at least give them a run for their money.
I absolutely love that pick. I almost did it. I love that pick.
So, JC, do you have one, or do you want me to pull one out?
Well, I'm going to go just a little bit sidestep on this one, and I wouldn't say that I have a surprise, but my comment for this segment is going to be is that we have some week one matchups that could really shake things up for the remainder of the season, and we don't always get that in week one. So Johnny B already talked about one with UCLA, LSU. We've got Georgia, Clemson. We got Alabama, Miami. So you've got 3 shake-up games coming out the gate. So I think somewhere in there, Johnny B has already talked about one, but we're going to have surprises somewhere just because somebody has to lose. And it's going to make a mess for the remainder of the season and playoff hopes for all these teams.
So, but you didn't pick any of this.
I didn't.
You're not going to do it. You're not going to
leave it to the lawyer to see that I didn't do it. I said a lot, but didn't do anything.
He telegraphed his move. Even he said, "I'm going to sidestep this a little bit," and
he did. He did a very good job too. As a lawyer, that was an excellent job of sidestepping, my friend.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I like it.
I'm going to say my surprise this week is, and I got to go with it. You already set me up for it, so fuck it. I'm going to call that the ACC does extremely well in its 2 SEC matchups this week.
I was just going to ask if we should talk about that Georgia Clemson game. I was just going to ask.
I was going to be all like, "Oh, are we going to go Canes over Bama, maybe?"
No, that's not happening.
I guess my surprise would be I believe that Miami will beat the spread because we're 18.5-point underdogs. Like, I'm going to go ahead and say that.
Rob, if he was completely healthy and not coming off an injury, I would give you guys 100% chance. Or if this game was later on in the year.
De'Aaron King is 100% healthy. That's the thing, is that nothing that I've seen indicates any slowdown. If anything, he is more than good to go. He has been working his ass off, not just for this game, but for the season. And we have the most experienced offensive line we will ever have. You will ever see at Miami.
The only slowdown he has is the money that will be in his pockets while he's running down the field.
Listen, I'm not saying that we're going to beat Miami. I mean, we're going to beat Alabama. I don't think Miami's going to pull that shit off. But 18.5 underdogs, 18.5-point underdogs is insane. Alabama, I believe right now currently is a negative 1,000 for the money line. So, like, Jesus Christ.
Fuck you, Rob. Rob, let's grow a set, me and you, right now on the Barstool Sportsbook app, plus 650. Let's hammer the Canes, and let's become rich, and fuck it.
All right,
let's go, Homer.
I'm with you, Johnny.
Let's go, Homer. Fuck it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Miami's beating Alabama. You heard it here first. Miami's beating Alabama. We didn't win. Listen,
you're going to be so happy. You need to stop.
The reason why we became a fucking successful podcast is because we make ballsy moves. We picked Coastal. We said 12-0. Miami's fucking beating them. They're beating them. They're going to beat their dicks in the dirt, and they're going to win by 10 points.
Johnny, I've got 6 days to actually work before this game happens. You're fucking getting way too hype right now.
Let's fucking ride. Let's be riders.
All right, let's do it.
We're riding.
I'm in. Who's with us?
Oh,
hey, let's go.
JC's in. Tia, you with us?
Might as well be. Fuck. Can't drive to Iowa to replace the bet though, but fuck. Might as well.
All right. That's four. All 4 of us are packing them.
Let's go. We got to pick this game too. We have to pick this game as a team because it is the second biggest game on. We're all riding Miami. Clemson, Georgia. Who we have?
Well, that was my prediction was that the ACC was going to do very well in its hallmark games this week. So I am going to go with Clemson on this one.
I think Georgia's, and I think Kirby Smart is not a great coach, great recruiter. Give me DJ. Give me 6'5". Give me Dabo. Give me the greatest defensive line in the history of college football. Let's go, Clemson.
I don't want to. I would love to see Clemson lose and Miami win. But
the second best team, second best team in the state of South Carolina. We're going with the second best team in South Carolina.
Yeah, see, I know Rob likes to root for a Clemson loss, but I like to root for a Georgia loss. So I'm on board for Clemson here. So
Yeah, I'm with you. That was my call originally anyway. I'm going to stick with Clemson.
I'll make a bold prediction right here. The winner of this game definitely makes the playoff. The winner of this game wins the national championship.
Ooh,
that's bold.
ballsy.
You want to
That's bold.
listen to my theory though, real quick. I think Oklahoma's going to go automatically. That's who they're going to play. Now, if Clemson wins, they're going to run the table. No one's going to beat them. So they're going to be in. So all they have to do is beat Oklahoma. Now, if Georgia wins, that gives them the fucking win that they actually need to get over the hump. They have never had the win to get over the hump.
But you're saying that the winner of this game goes to the championship or wins the championship?
Wins the championship.
Wins the championship.
I'm making a note of that.
I'm putting it up right here.
The reason that I'm saying this, but if you listen to the logic, it makes sense. I'm telling you, Oklahoma's going to be in, and I'm telling you, Ohio State's going to be in.
Right.
The winner, I think Oklahoma is going to be in win actually their first playoff game. But if you listen, Clemson doesn't play anybody else, so they're going to be in. Right. And all they got to do is beat Oklahoma. If Georgia wins, this gives them the win and the confidence that they've never had. They've never had a big win like this. They always lose. They lose to fucking Alabama. They lose to Florida. No, they're going to go in. Then they're going to play. They're going to go into fucking Alabama and be like, well, we already beat Clemson. Clemson's a better team. They'll beat Alabama, and then they'll just fucking run the table and finally live up to the expectation.
They've always had the talent. I mean, I don't knock that.
I'm picking Clemson to win, so if Georgia shocks me here, I think they could run the table.
Well, we are rooting for a Georgia loss, so that at least will stick with tradition. But okay, well, hey, it's on there. It's in our studio. I have like even it dated and all that, so everybody knows what you decided to say before week one even started. So that's a hell of a surprise. Let's see, JC, you got one for us for real this time, or should we move on to locks to guarantees? I like
locks. I like locks.
I like locks. It says, oh boy. Okay.
I'm gonna get it again this year.
I mean, you do have the the trophy, I guess, the crown. So why don't you start us off with your lock this year? You're for week one. Let's get it going.
Rob, make sure you write these down and remember them.
So I tried to do it last week, and y'all reminded me that we were in week 0.
I think everyone went 1-0. Oh no, I think I ended up picking UConn because I'm a fucking idiot. No, I went with Illinois. I picked Illinois.
Are we picking spreads?
No, usually it's just straight. It's just money.
I'm 1-0 too because I picked Ucla.
Yeah, you picked Ucla. JC went with UTEP, and I picked Illinois. Sorry, Tyler. So, yeah, so that means that we're all 1-0 to start. So, JC
knows football. That's all I'm saying.
Brett Villamone knows football. My goodness. All right. So, JC, what's your lock for this week?
I tried to run with them last week, and you reminded me it was week 0. So I'm going to go ahead and do it this week. And I'm going to go Liberty. They're playing the Camels, and I think it's going to be
playing Campbell. Really?
Yeah, and I'm gonna think. Let's see, Malik Willis throws for over 200 and runs for over 200, and then that's going to give him his first step toward a Heisman Trophy.
I like it. That is a very specific. That's good. That's a
very
specific.
Same team twice.
Yep, that's why I want to get him in early.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So I already got my Illinois pick in for the year. Not that I was going to do it too much more, but maybe I should. Now I feel like I should have waited to pick Illinois. All right, I am knowing that I can only pick this team once. I guess I should pick him early. Okay, here's my lock of the week. You guys are going to hate this so much. I'm going to pick a team to bounce back hard. Okay, because they have plenty to prove. And dear Lord, if they can't beat fucking Holy Cross, then I don't know what we're doing. Let's go, UConn. One time, please beat up. I think, isn't Holy Cross still a D3 school? God, just please.
All right, and remember, you get 2 points for upset pick. So,
is UConn an upset pick over Holy Cross?
I don't know. It might be a pick.
It might be.
It might be a pick 'em. I don't know.
Oh no. Well,
I don't know, boys.
And
I'm going with UConn.
Well, since we get 2 points for an upset pick, take it Ohio over Syracuse.
It's funny. I almost picked that as well.
Give me the MAC
spread
champion over. It's 1.5. They're getting 1.5.
Oh jeez, but it's still technically an underdog.
And Syracuse is the worst team. They're the Vanderbilt of the ACC. They are what Duke used to be in the ACC. They are just fucking atrocious. They are the Oregon State of the ACC. They are the. Illinois actually won a game. They're the Purdue of the ACC.
Are they the Vanderbilts?
Yeah, the Vanderbilt. So I'm taking Ohio over Syracuse. That is my lock.
Wow. Okay. Well, that is worth 2. I mean, I don't actually see a line. Yeah, I think it's a pick 'em for UConn Holy Cross. I'm not sure if that counts as 1 or 2.
If it's a pick 'em, it counts as 2.
If it's a pick 'em, it counts as 2. Okay. Unless you see something different, Johnny. I don't even know if our school.
No, they're not even on the book.
They don't have it on the book. Of course they don't. Holy Cross is an FCS school. So, yes, I did just confirm that they are FCS, which means they moved up. They used to be D3. And meanwhile, UConn's slowly going back to FCS ball, basically. They're like, I think they're this season away from going back to FCS. So yeah, there you go. So that one's worth
They'll be playing the Maine Black Bears in no time.
It'll be good. They won't have to travel as far. They don't have to go all the way out to like Fresno State. It's fine. All right. Tyler? You are allowed to, of course, have a pick 'em, a guarantee as well. We won't necessarily track yours throughout the season unless you want to keep coming back. It's up to you.
Oh, I could keep coming back if you want. But I'll tell you right now, strike while the iron's hot on this one because I'm going back to the Nebraska well against Fordham. Boys and boys play fucking football, and yet somehow they're a D1 school. Don't get that, but at least they'll pull out by 2 touchdowns and maintain the lead. So they
will probably beat the Rams of Fordham. I'm gonna say, yeah.
There's your lock, bud.
I'm gonna say Martinez runs for 3 touchdowns and throws 1 pick.
Yeah.
Hey guys, just one more game I think that we should do before we move on, because it's very intriguing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Friday night in Blacksburg.
Oh, Virginia Tech.
Yes.
I'm thinking Virginia Tech beats North Carolina, and I don't know why.
So I had the same feeling, even though just last week I talked about how I liked UNC.
I do too.
Throughout the season, I just for some reason this game was screaming at me.
Virginia Tech could fire their coach halfway through the season. I don't think he's great, but there's something about Blacksburg at night on a Friday that just gets your balls tingly.
Yeah, well, once they play Enter Sandman, everyone gets fucking just.
My brother's going to that game.
Ooh.
I'm picking Vatek.
His wife works at the university at Virginia Tech, so he's going to that game.
Oh man, I love that, man. I would love to see that happen. I think that is definitely a game that if UNC isn't careful, I mean, they couldn't pull that shit out against FSU at night last year. So Blacksburg's got to be a whole nother level. So we'll see. But I like that pick a lot. I'm fine. While we're doing this, I will mention one other game that I think will beat the spread, but only because I really want them to. Florida opens their season up against FAU, who is not a good team. But FAU's new starter is the senior transfer out of Miami and Kosi Perry, who's played Florida multiple times in his career at this point. And so they'll at least have leadership to, not lose by
if the spread is
24.5.
Oh, give me the points.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think that FAU at least will beat the spread on that one.
Yeah, because Florida doesn't have the established offense. I like that. That's a good job.
We know a lot of the players on there because they all went to FAU, and it would give me no small comfort to see Florida struggle against the Owls, the burrowing Owls of Florida Atlantic. So.
All right. Well, there's our picks, guys. I will have the TikTok up this week on the Spike TikTok, and I'll throw them up on the YouTube and the Twitter. But now let's move on to the last part of the show, our favorite part of the show. This is my favorite part. It is the draft time. 3 rounds. Rob, what's our topic?
Our topic tonight is, I coined it the Stadium Wish List Draft. So what that means is that you don't pick your favorite stadium like with the atmosphere and the traditions and all that crap. You literally say, if you could go shopping for a stadium for your favorite team to play in, what stadium would it be and why? And we'll do 2 rounds of this so that everybody kind of gets a chance to be first and last and whatever. And we'll just have two stadiums that we'd love to have. As a Miami fan, this is very easy because we have an NFL stadium. So I would take pretty much any college stadium to actually be on fucking campus, and it would be better than what we have now. But there are going to be some very choice ones, some really nice just facilities that are out there that we could try and figure out. So with that said, this was Johnny's idea. So I imagine that he's got a couple in mind already. TA, we literally just told you 30 seconds ago what this is, so you may need a little time.
Makes sense.
Okay.
But I think I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Okay. And then JC, what do you think? You think you got some picks handy?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Very good. So let's do this. Tyler, when's your birthday?
January 12th, 89.
I think that means you go first.
Yeah, we'll go youngest to oldest. JC or Tyler, JC, me, Rob.
So one of the things that pisses me off about Memorial Stadium, it's all straight bench seating. And don't get me wrong, I bring my seat back, and so it's somewhat more comfortable. But the top thing I would have is actual stadium seating in a stadium.
Fair, very fair. So what? So is there a stadium specifically, like from another team, that you would steal and say that one would work great for us?
TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha does it pretty well. You can at least sit down in. So that stadium. Interesting.
So our first pick off the board, TD Ameritrade, I believe, is a pro stadium, right?
No, it's the stadium they use for the College World Series.
Oh.
They tore down Rosenblatt years ago, and they replaced it with TD Ameritrade.
Baseball, college football, I like it.
And
amazing.
I'd actually like games held there because you can. It's enormous enough. You can put a football field in there.
So that is the most Nebraska thing I think that this show has ever seen is to replace Nebraska Stadium with the College World Series Stadium they have in Omaha. That's fantastic.
I've been to Arrowhead and I've been to Mile High. And I can't sit in the seat because the gap in the seat does not fit my leg region, so I have to oftentimes sit on the armrest. So
that is very fair.
This past time at TD Ameritrade, so I'm going with TD Ameritrade.
JC, you're up.
Nice. So this one's kind of I want to say easy pick for me anyway. I like Kyle Field, Texas A&M.
Fuck.
And I love that it just goes up and up and up. And it's just it just looks beautiful. It just feels like I can only imagine being on that field. And it just feels like everything's coming down on top of you.
I mean, Johnny, what do you think of that pick?
That was my fucking pick. That was my 1-1, 1A. But since I can't have them, and you know me, I'm all about big, I got to go with the stadium with the most, even though it is shaped a little weird. But to have a bowl that big and to have all the sound just reverberate in that stadium, even though they suck, give me Michigan Stadium.
Of course, the big house. So I've been trying to look for a good one, mostly because, I'm talking about my favorite team. I'm talking about a place that gets really, really fucking humid and hot when we're trying to have afternoon games. So, I looked at a place like the Big House, or I don't know, a few of these other really nice stadiums that are they're so open. There's literally no shade anywhere. And I was like, do we feel like baking 100,000 people at the same time? Then yes, that's what I would pick. But that doesn't make sense for Miami. So what I'm going to pick, and this is going to be, and because I haven't found a better one yet that would suit the bill as far as I'm concerned. I think that it would be amazing to have something like the Carrier Dome on campus in Miami for football games, because it seats 50,000 people and you can be so fucking loud in there. The sound would just overwhelm people. Having gone to the game, and no shade thrown at Johnny, but having gone to the game when Notre Dame came to play, and it sounded like a gunshot went off when we picked off their quarterback, and that was in an open air stadium. I can only imagine how just absurdly ridiculous it would be to have Miami games in a dome, for just how loud we can be. So to me, that would be a great, again, just the building itself. I think that would give us a real advantage that we don't currently have.
Next pick, you.
I know. It is. So with that said, if we were to go the other extreme in that we want to use the humidity to our advantage, which is something that we've talked about in the past. We want to be able to
good pick.
make sure that everybody is dying out there, but we're used to it. I think the one that I really liked was Kyle Field is really good. Actually, you know what? Yeah. I really liked the fact that Memorial Stadium in Nebraska is as wide as it is, which is funny, right? Because you said that it's all benches, right?
It's all benches. It's all benches. It sucks.
See, that is pretty terrible. But how do you get assigned seating then, right? If you buy a ticket, you go wherever, like just have a general section.
There's numbers on the fucking seats, and there's sections and shit. Like your butt is assigned essentially a number on a seat in a section.
They literally section out the bench?
Yes.
Wow.
They do it at Notre Dame, too.
Well, then never mind. Fuck it. Then I will take Bryant-Denny Stadium at Alabama. So.
That is the most boring-ass circle.
That's vanilla.
You're vanilla. That's
but
missionary.
You know what it does?
That's missionary. That ain't doggy. That's missionary.
Whoa. It's because it's tall, right? It's tall all the way around. You want to bake everybody on the field in humidity? Perfect. It's soup.
I thought you were going somewhere else.
Nah.
I'm going with something a little different. Speaking of doggy, I'm taking Husky Stadium in Washington.
That was a really nice looking stadium.
They said about 85,000. They have the overhang that encapsulates all the noise and pushes it down into the field.
Yep.
Their team sucks. Not great. And have the open end that overlooks. That's awesome. So the wind can still be a factor on the one side, but the other side's all enclosed on top, and it pushes all the noise down to the field. So give me Husky Stadium.
Oh, I saw that. I thought that would be good, but then I thought in Miami, nah, it's not going to be. Really...
I would go with I was going to go with North Dakota because I love the dome too, but JC.
Yeah, you ran that one pretty quick. So if we're talking the field and where it is, considering weather, climate.
I know where he's going.
I like a field where you're going to experience both summer and winter conditions.
No, I don't.
Yeah. So I went a little different on you. So you're gonna get cold weather. You're gonna get warm weather, and I like a grass field. And I also like a big stadium that'll fit a lot of people in it.
It's going to be orange. The color's orange.
Yo,
No, sir. No, sir. I'm gonna go with Penn State.
Happy Valley.
I think if you just it's got everything. It's just got a little bit of everything.
It's got
a grass field.
150,000 people.
Yep.
Got a lot.
So I don't think you can beat that.
I like it. I thought you were going Tennessee there, but I like it.
I had considered Tennessee for some of the same reasons.
It's a
but-
little bit vanilla though, too. Beaver
Yep.
Stadium kind of like goes like this. It flows down. I like it. You're right. All right, TA, last pick of the draft.
fuck. I would pick the open. Like, I don't know what you would call it, but like, I like SoFi Stadium because of their ceiling, their roof. It's like a hybrid between open air and like you can hit a button, roof collapses, sides collapse in. It's essentially shut like a fucking dome.
Mhm.
So if I was shopping for that, I'd hire the designers of SoFi because you can have it be open air for awesome environments like Garth Brooks and all that. But if in the event it snows, you can push a button, closed door stadium for in the event it snows because Memorial Stadium.
It is super high tech.
It is super high tech, and Memorial Stadium is definitely getting up there in age.
The opposite of high tech, some would say.
Well, that was our draft. Good picks from everybody. That was week 2, guys. Actually, technically week 1, but week 2 of us. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for joining. Like I said, all of our picks will be on the Twitter and the TikTok for all the game week 1s coming up right now. I'd like to thank our sponsors: Three Bridges Brewing, Outback Buck Shack, Cosmic Design,
Dino Design.
whatever, dude. I'm not good with this. Bud Light.
Bud Heavy.
Hey, let's have a little moment. We don't like to get political here, but for the servicemen that died, we moment of silence. I don't know how you do that on a fucking podcast, but thank you for their service. That was a moment. Okay, I don't know what to do there. That was weird. I'm not good at that kind of shit. Sorry. But
Extremely bad at transitions.
remember their families and all that good sacrifices that they made. I'm sorry for that. But it's college football time. We'll be watching. Hopefully, you'll be watching. Interact with us on Twitter. If you would have followed me, going 5-1 would have made you a shit ton of money this week. I'm not saying. Listen, this week I'm up, boys, because the NFL doesn't start for 2 more weeks. So I'm going to be fucking way up. I'm buying a brand new truck cash. And then the NFL is going to come, and I'm going to lose everything. Probably going to have to live outside. But for the first 2 weeks, we're going to be up big cash. Picks will be on Twitter. Thanks, everybody, for joining. And you guys take it.
JC, go ahead, man.
All right, like Johnny B said, Outback Buck Shack, American products for American traditions, making our stuff here in the United States because there ain't no whitetail deer in China. You know what I'm saying? So
wait, do you know that for a fact?
I do know that for a fact.
There are deer, but not whitetail.
There are deer. So shout out for Outback Buck Shack, and as Johnny B said, we're thankful for the things that our men and women are still doing all over this world, and there's still danger out there. I know we live pretty comfortably here, and sometimes we can get a little out of hand with our lack of understanding and appreciation for what we really have. So thanks for all the things that they're still doing, and I'll kick it over to Rob.
All right. Well, as we said earlier, we're just watching a game. We're rooting for teams to do well and all of that. At the end of the day,
money.
Johnny's in it for the money, but the rest of us, we thoroughly enjoy watching the games. We understand the games, and that we're it isn't life or death, and we do really appreciate those who go out and put their lives on the line for what's really important. So, with that said, to go away from the seriousness, if you follow us on Twitter, we will be ranting.
You scored a knockout win.
We will be. I will be probably blackout. I will actually next week, next Sunday, we'll have probably a guest as well who will be another Miami alum.
Because they're gonna win, baby. Because we're riding.
And, oh
we're
my God! If we
Miami.
win, you'll have never seen two drunk motherfuckers online before being absolutely stupid. So
if Miami wins, I'll wear a shirt.
Not a Miami shirt, just a shirt. So anyway, we hope that you come and hang out with us virtually, whatever, digitally, remotely, because we're gonna have a blast this weekend. And man,
shout out Iron Ostrich Network, by the way. Shout him out. I don't know if I did it.
Well, and of course, now I'm going to turn it to TA, who's from the Iron Ostrich Network. The Anomalies podcast is a fucking superstar in all the ways that we can.
And it's going to get us on Spotify and on your podcast as soon as we figure that shit out.
Yeah, so I'm going to be the answer to them audio problems. Yes, I am Tyler Allen. I produce and host with 4 other stooges on the Anomalies podcast. We try and be funny. We have comedians on. This week we'll have Clem from Barstool on, and we'll have a good time with him, diving into the Met talk.
How high is Marco going to be?
Oh, probably super stoned because he's unemployed now. But
oh no, he's going to be fucking Everest. Jesus.
But come seek us out. We're on all the major platforms. YouTube's going to get shaped up here this week for us, and like I said before, I am going to start producing the audio portion for these fellas. Johnny's going to have a picks feed, and we're going to get some shows up on Spotify and all. Pretty soon you'll be hearing them on the necessary podcast services. So you don't
have to see our ugly faces. You can just hear our beautiful voices.
You can hear them audio only here as well. Here shortly. So on behalf of the Iron Ostrich Network, we welcome you fellas. And yeah, come seek us out. We also have couple more podcasts coming up. I know Tone and Gems do one that I am totally blanking on the title
of.
Off
the Rails.
Off the Rails. Thank you.
Which is what we do.
That's why I'm here.
Quite frankly, I'm more surprised we didn't call the network Off the Rails because, quite frankly, we're all off the rails a little bit. But they have spectacular guests as well, and Tone does a good job. And yeah, so come find us, and we'll also get an Iron Ostrich on the fucking intro thing. God damn it.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that.
One day we will. All right, guys.
All right, guys, as always.
Yep, let's go ahead and count it out and keep spiking, everybody. We will see you next week.
Woo! Good show, motherfuckers. Are we still live?
We are. Hold on.
I can't. Can I?